Continuing on, the best keto diet foods that I've tried. Well, desserts edition. That's exactly what it is. But today I'm going to talk about the best food bloggers in the keto community. Now these guys all have something very, very special. And not saying there aren't other food bloggers. And if you know any that I'm missing, hit me below in the comment section and let me know who they are so I can check them out. Like I said, it's very important to get the best of the best out there. That's the whole point behind this channel. I want to go ahead and get it out of the way. These food bloggers, everything that you try isn't going to be amazing. So you may try something of theirs and you just don't simply like it. And there have been other things of these people that I just don't, I didn't really care for. It wasn't horrible, it just wasn't for me. So I do want to conclude that. So be mindful when you go out searching these recipes from these food bloggers. But in the keto community, especially on the dessert side, see, the dessert side is the hard side. It's the surgical side, because what it's done is it's taken the science out of baking that we traditionally know. So now you have to come up with a skill set in order to make these things taste familiar. And I can tell that these food bloggers actually have a baking background. They made me step my game up. When I actually started making my own recipes, I look towards them. First one I want to talk about is green and keto. Now, if you notice in my pumpkin versus, when I did a battle between them and Keto Connects, they knocked Keto Connect out of the park. Not saying Keto Connects wasn't good, but the consistency wasn't all that great, and the flavor was just, the flavor stood out more than anything else. But when it came to green and keto, the only thing I can say is it fell apart kind of bad. But the texture was great. The flavor was mind-blowing. I've also featured them in another versus. That particular recipe wasn't amazing, but of course it wasn't bad. And what really lets you know over behind green and keto, that they let me know is when they made that pumpkin recipe, they used their own spices. They didn't use pumpkin spice. And myself as a recipe creator, I'm still trying to learn how to do that. But that takes skill. And that definitely makes your recipe come out overall a lot better. I'm not against using pumpkin spice or let's say gingerbread spice. That's fine, but when you know how to really put it together, that's where you want to go. Now, green and keto will be more so for your specific guys on the easier side. The first one and the last one are definitely gonna be more so on the easier side. This middle one I'm getting ready to go into, she's a bit complicated. And I know none of you are surprised, but I want to feature Nom Nom. I think by far she's a baker at heart. She's really worked around and figured out things to put this stuff together. Nom Nom's very, very talented. And I wouldn't like keto cookies like that if it weren't for Nom Nom. You know, don't get me wrong, I enjoy fat snacks and things like that, as I mentioned before, but they never really did it for me. Like, I can eat one fat snack and just be fine. But those Nom Nom chocolate chip cookies, the bakery style, oh man, oh, Jesus. I had to put them down. I had to put them in the trash can. If not, I would've ate them all. And I think when you run into that problem, it's a bad problem, but it's a great problem to have, because that just lets you know how delicious something is. And Nom Nom was featured in, well, she's been featured in quite a few of my videos actually, but the keto chocolate chip cookie that I'm talking about is in my verses, and I will put that in the card and link it as well with my pumpkin verses. But Nom Nom is a lot more complicated than the other two. The only thing I can say about Nom Nom is simply her recipes aren't one size fits all. And what I mean by that is she has a lot of specific recipes where you have to have certain ingredients. So to make her recipes, it can get rather expensive. But she has a reason behind everything that she tends to use. She's definitely brought that baker side from over into keto. Lastly, and certainly not least, it's all I dream about is food. Now, I left her last because of one reason. When it comes to the keto food blogging community, she is the Mecca. She is the Jay-Z. I know most of you guys on YouTube, they look at it and they say, oh, Keto Connect must, no. I'm telling you right now. All day I dream about this food is the Mecca when it comes to keto. She runs the game. That comes through popularity. But we're talking about, how does her food taste? She's actually inspired me with a couple recipes. My actual keto birthday cake recipe. I'll link that in the description box as well. It was inspired by one of hers, because I was trying to figure out how could I possibly make a yellow cake. But back then, you know, I wasn't sure about creating my recipes. Like I said, I was still very, very new. So when you're new, the best way to learn is from someone who's already done it. But she has fantastic recipes. She's been featured in my verses as well, simply because, as I said, she runs the game. I've bought her cookbooks before. Out of the recipes I've tried out of her, she can be a little hit and miss. Her textures sometimes aren't the best, or they're never terrible. They're definitely never terrible. This is the internet, and sometimes, you know, you do the best you can. All of these guys have their own very different personal style. I may call myself one of the best keto dessert bakers or recipe creators when it comes to this whole thing. And I mean, I do. But I wouldn't be who I am without them. Definitely not. I would not be who I am without these other amazing bakers. I say I'm one of the best. I didn't say I was the best. There are numerous people. Now, I hate to do it worse as far as popularity, because I don't want to knock anybody down. But at the same time, I don't want you guys to be going to these people, because there's one particular person that they are so popular and their food is just horrible. I'm just like, those recipes are just always like, I'm like, how are you making it? But they're far bigger than I am as far as food blogging goes. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel or not. An honorable mention that I'm sure people are probably wondering about is Keto Connect. I did not mention them because, in my personal opinion, they're good with main dishes. I think they're great. They're phenomenal when it comes to like their main dishes, the side dishes. Their desserts aren't the best. Now, they aren't nasty, but these other food bloggers, they'll definitely knock them out of the park. These other food bloggers, they focus on desserts as I do. They'll have other little recipes as well, like me, but their desserts are their centerpieces. Keto Connect centerpieces are their main dishes because that's what they're best at. They just did a red velvet cake recipe the other day, and they even and Matt's so funny. He was like, I don't really know why it's red. They put red food color and all that kind of stuff like that. And I was just like, oh my God, why would you tell people that? You're baking, you're supposed to know this. You're supposed to know that authentic red that you get in red velvet cake comes from a chemical reaction between the cocoa powder, the vinegar, and the buttermilk. I'm gonna sign off on that one. Goodbye.